rolling.
All right.
All right, we are live. This is a bonus round of the Daily Dose of Light. I am intending that hopefully once a week, I'll have an interview with someone who is doing the work in their community, in their own lives, that helps support right now all the stress and some empowerment work. Sometimes it'll be someone who's doing tarot, somebody who's doing Reiki, somebody who's doing therapy sessions with people, somebody who's an exercise professional. All walks of life will be here because I'm trying to give you guys different techniques to support who you are right now and what you're going through. And I don't always want you seeing my face and hearing my mouth and my words. So it's nice to hear something from someone else. So today I have Sarah Tyler, who lives in Ohio. She's an amazing Reiki practitioner, Reiki master, but she has a specialty in this channeling with tarot. And I'm going to let her tell you her story in a moment. But the one reason I wanted her to work in this atmosphere with us in this interview is to let you know that there are these little techniques when you feel a little unsure of yourself, when you want some internal communication with self and confirmation of what you need to do. You can use tarot for that. Just like, prayer beads, mala beads. Some people have crystals that help them. But whatever it is, it's a self-healing technique and an empowerment technique. So Sarah, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about how you got into the tarot and what it does for you?
Okay. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's very exciting. So it was about 3.5 years ago, I was going through an extremely painful divorce. I would call that my dark night of the soul. If you're familiar with that term, anybody watching, it was the darkest point in my life. And I've always been drawn to spiritual things and the new age kind of concepts. So, as I was going through that process, I went to Sedona, I became drawn to crystals, and something just, I don't know what it was, kind of just said, why don't, buy these tarot cards? And they were oracle cards that I started with. And I just started playing with them. And it comforted me. And I just asked for messages. And, just to give you an example, 44 cards in the deck, and some of the cards would make no sense in such a situation. So it could be a divorce, it could be any dark situation that you're going through. So imagine you're just lost and you start shuffling. And no matter how many times you shuffle, you maneuver the cards, you do it day after day, you keep getting the same ones over and over and over. So it's like something's trying to tell me something. And it gave me comfort. So as an example, I would do a past, present, future, and it would tell me you're overcoming difficulties. The worst is now behind you and you're surmounting any previous challenges. So, going through a divorce or any kind of tragic situation, dark situation, that's a beautiful message to hear. And of course, that's the past. So it adds up. All is well is the present. Everything is happening exactly as it's supposed to. With hidden blessings, you will soon understand. So then for the future, I got gifts from God. We angels bring you gifts from your creator. Open your arms to receive. And now at the time, I had no idea what that really meant. It had a different meaning to me then for the things I wanted in my life, but I kept getting it over and over. And within a few weeks, months, I realized that I was able to do tarot, to do Reiki, and all this stuff, all these blessings started coming in. So it's just a very beautiful thing to do. And I encourage you, if you are going to do it, journal every day the messages you get, because they may not make sense at the time, but they will eventually.
Can I ask you a question? Because everybody has their own opinion on different things. And I know there's a lot of people who that think that tarot is bad because it's a dark side that's talking to you. Some people think that the Christian cross is a dark thing, so it all depends on our perspective. What I believe is everything has a meaning and everybody's drawn to something. So in your opinion, what is actually talking to you when you throw your cards?
Well, back then, again, 3 years ago, just being very new on this journey, for me, it was guardian angels, right? It was always, spirit guides, guardian angels. Sometimes in this same deck, I would get hello from heaven. And, I had recently lost a beloved pet that was my best friend. So that was very comforting. My grandfather would come through. I just, anytime I would get those type of messages. Now, now that I'm been on this journey a lot longer, I think it's more the concept of my higher self guiding me, but in some regard, it's still the same kind of, it's a guide. It's a spirit guide. It's something not in this realm. So, and just to go backtrack a little bit, when I would shuffle these cards, there's no right or wrong way to do it. People do it all different ways, but you just get this feeling. Okay, I'm going to stop now. Something just stops you in your gut. It's your intuition. It's your inner self. And sometimes cards will jump out, they'll fly out. Definitely pay attention to those.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's, I'm glad that that's what you said. So in the beginning, a lot of times we don't know. We just need this thing for confirmation. It makes us feel better. But when it ultimately, as you work on yourself in general and self-healing and in enlightenment towards the journey of who you really are, not who people think you're supposed to be, not who you've been for the outside world, but who you really are inside, you'll come to the realization, like Sarah did, that it's really your highest self talking. It's really your soul and your spirit talking to you. And miraculously, through this exchange with yourself, it really does empower you to use something like this. I mean, it's confirmation. Like some people need to do I Ching. It's the same way. There are these messages that come to us. Some people will be driving in the car and go, well, if the red light turns green before I get there, then everything's going to be okay. These are those little games we play with ourselves. And really what's happening is your intention to find clarity and comfort is being put out into the universe. It's being put out up to God. It's a prayer. And through that prayer, you're saying, I need some confirmation. I need a sign from you, God. And everybody can use whatever it is they feel drawn to using. And tarot is an absolutely beautiful method. There's all different kinds of tarots, and I'm going to let Sarah talk to you about that. But the coolest ones are the ones that if you want to first start out and you don't feel comfortable with the oracle type or the angel tarots, there's even a Lord of the Rings tarot deck. There's whatever you feel drawn to do that you resonate with. I highly recommend you start out with that. But I'm going to let Sarah go ahead and talk about all the different ones that you have, and you thought maybe we could do a reading today for us.
Yes. And I just, first of all, I want to say, I love what you said about the signs. That really, before I even got into the cards, I was all about that years before. If this is going to happen, if I'm on the right path, show me a blue butterfly within 48 hours. And you'd be surprised. I mean, I had one on a billboard. It was the biggest thing I couldn't, 3 times. I mean, it's a way that you get, and when you start getting confirmation from spirit, from your higher self, when you start getting responses that make sense, and you start realizing there's more than what's going on in your current situation, and it's just beautiful, and it's very, very comforting.
Were you ever afraid of it?
No.
Okay, because see, some people is like, show me a sign, and then they get the sign, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, am I really that powerful? And then I always throw them the Marianne Williamson poem about you are powerful beyond means. It's not your dark side that frightens you most. It's your light. And so we do all have this power. And this is actually a way to go inward and find your own power. Sarah is going to go ahead and do a reading for us, and you can reach out to Sarah too. I'm going to put all her information on the page after the video is over, so that you can check in with her. And she's going to be she does do tarot readings, and she can help guide you in that. Am I correct, Sarah? Would you help someone pick the right deck? Would you help them do a reading? Do you do that type of work?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
I'm all about self-empowerment, teaching somebody to do what I do for themselves. And I think what's unique about me in the readings that I do for people, and on my YouTube channel as well, I have a lot of free content on there. It's not so much for me about predicting the future, although, it does kind of immediately show you what the energy, and sometimes what things are coming, it does happen. But, there's free will, and the energy can change so much. So I don't necessarily believe in, somebody coming to me and they say, well, are my boyfriend and I going to get back together? well, the card could say yes or no, and in 5 minutes I pull a different card and it says yes or no. So for me, it's about what the self-healing you need to do in your situation to get you whole on your own, so that you can then attract the things that you want in your life. So I really am doing a combination of the energy read with the cards, and then also empowering people and giving them life and spirit coaching as well. So I do a combination of that. But
I'm
so
really
yes.
glad you brought that up, because you brought up two things that I want to talk about. When you do have tarot cards, you don't want to be pulling them every 5 minutes if you don't like what you got, because that's a little compulsive. Okay.
Right.
So just take one, sit with it, and see what happens. And then on the flip side of that, when you do take that one and it's really awesome and you really love it, don't just focus on that so that it's like in front of your face and you don't see everything else happening around your life. So there, like Sarah said, things change from moment to moment. You can pull the card, and this is the good ones and the bad ones, and your free will dictate whether that thing that you pulled comes true. So it is just something to empower you and not to become a crutch. Correct, Sarah?
Exactly. And I was guilty of that in the beginning a little too much, pulling but it's important when you are doing that to, again, journal it, because it may not make sense at the time. Like I said, I kept getting 3 years ago gifts from God, career transition, self-employment, and I'm like, self-employment, I have a job. I'm not starting a business. Little did I know a year later, right? I mean, so it all, it is interesting to see how it evolves. But yes, if your oracle cards are a great way to get started, but the traditional tarot is a lot more complex. But what I love about this deck, which is still in print, it's available on Amazon, it's the Angel Tarot by Radley Valentine. What I love about it is, and this is the deck I'm going to use just to pull for you guys, is that there's some explanation on the bottom of the cards.
Okay.
And it doesn't always line up with the traditional tarot as far as if you learn that aspect, but it always makes sense when you're using this deck, and it's a great way to get started. So
I think awesome advice.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm just going to pull, I'll just pull a past, present, future, what spirit wants us to know as the collective. And sometimes when I do this, it takes me a minute to channel the messages, or I might start, some of the things that come out of my mouth might not be coherent sentences, but anybody who follows me on YouTube knows that already. Okay, that one kind of, when you get ones that jump out, it's like, that's
okay.
Okay. So what I'm getting, what we have for the past is the Two of Cups, Two of Water. And, in the traditional context, that's a relationship card. That's a divine partnership, something like that. It is on this deck. What's interesting is it says the positive resolution of a conflict. And so what I'm getting from the past, what Spirit wants us to know is, as a collective, as a society, we were not working together. Okay, everything was disjointed. There was not a harmonious love amongst humanity and amongst all the existence on this planet. That's, the past. That's why we're in the situation we're in now, because things had to change. And so right now, our current energy present is 5 of Fire, 5 of Wands. It's intense, it's burning, and the 5 of Wands is all about competition. It's about conflict. It's about chaos, bothersome details, conflict with others. So I think it's kind of like we're at this crossroads. We've been thrown into the fire, so to speak, which is why we've got the wands here. Which way are we going to go? The way we were doing things wasn't working as a society. We're here now, and there is conflict boiling again, about people who, you're going to wear a mask or you're not, and society is going to open or it's not going to reopen. I think what Spirit wants to remind us is we have to focus on oneness. And again, everybody, doesn't matter, celebrities, everybody's been affected by this pandemic in different ways, of course, but nobody was immune from the virus. And, bad pun, but that's the truth. So we're here now, and it's like, we've got to get out of this competitive mode and realize we're all one. But the beautiful thing is the future. I just, this is always what I say on my channel, you can't make this stuff up. When you got the 5 of Fire, the next one out of 78 cards I shuffle, these were always mixed up cards. You get the 6 in the same suit. So to me, the future for us is progress. And the beautiful thing is, Six of Wands is a victory card. Good news is on its way. Victory.
Awesome.
So, you know, I feel like, yes, we're in the fire right now. There's a lot of conflict. But if we shift our focus on why we're here and what needs to change, then the outcome is victorious and beautiful.
And, you know, it's interesting, you know, I love everything you said with the interpretation of them as well. And immediately what popped in my mind when you said the relationship card, it's not, for me, it wasn't just the relationship of the people, it was the relationship of the people on our Mother Earth.
Yeah.
What we're doing. And then the second card with the fire, think about the fire. What comes from the fire? The phoenix rises from the ashes.
Yes.
We need this burning, this purging, this middle time that we're all going through so much tumultuous energy and shifts. And then, like you said, we've got victory on our way. And we do, because just like I said earlier today in my daily dose, if you go outside and you breathe the air, it's amazing. It's a totally different smell to the air than there ever has been.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because we are just chilling.
Right. And they wanted me to pull in one more card. This sometimes happens.
Okay.
And I know why now. 10 of Earth, 10 of Pentacles. That's like the ultimate. You've reached your goal, completed the cycle. You have everything in the physical, tangible realm, right? You've got a very happy family life, financial security, finding magic in the little things in life. That's where we're headed if we keep our focus on one and on the collective.
That's beautiful. So that, with that said, go out and find some magic in your life. I don't care what it is. If it even comes negative, think to yourself, what could this negative thing be bringing me right now? Because all of what Sarah just told us is about the past, present, and future of this earth and our relationship on it, our relationship with one another. And if we do stay light and we do see things in a different perspective than we've ever seen before, then the future is ours, and the most amazing possibilities, the victory, the prosperity, the love, everything that we've been really, really wanting in our soul is going to happen. And now it's going to happen because of our intention of love, not because of the intention of any vices running amok, the greed, the envy, the jealousy, the gluttony, all that stuff behind us. It's in the past, and the future is whatever we want to make it. So beautiful, 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 Sarah. Thank you so much for being here. It was a wonderful reading. You're very gifted. And I hope that those of you out there who are even entering into maybe wanting a tarot reading or wanting to learn about how to do tarot, or just to pick your own card, please, or own card deck, I should say, Sarah can guide you. She knows about a whole bunch of different decks. And just by talking to you energetically, you know, she could guide you which one to buy off of Amazon. Okay. Because right about now, Amazon's the deal, right?
Yeah. And I have just about every deck in existence. I mean, not really, but I'm kind of obsessed. So I have all different kinds. Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. So once again, Sarah, thank you so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. And the rest of you, namaste. Enjoy this God-given day. Ciao. Bye.